Elon Musk, who was born in apartheid South Africa under wealth of his father, access privilege under his father's education and his father's own access to wealth in the engineering industry, and his access to a network of people and political connections. You mean to tell me that with all of that, and with him being able to be sent outside of Africa to be educated in another country, to gain all that wealth and knowledge, to be given $1 million between him and his brother to start their first business? Who do you know like that here in America has the luxury of your father, no matter what color you are here in America? Who has the luxury, the everyday average Joe or Jane has the luxury of your father or your mother giving you $1 million to start off your own business before you're even like 25 years old? Even if it's between you and a sibling, that's a great start in life. But what I find funny is you are not able to take all of that access, all of that privilege, all of your knowledge, and take that money and go back to your own homeland, and where you wouldn't need resources, you wouldn't need grants, you wouldn't need loans, you would have better access because the operational cost of running a manufacturing plant would be much lower in South Africa. You would be even more innovative in bringing jobs in your own jurisdiction of your country. But I feel like Elon Musk is not a real success story. I feel like he is a fraud, and he is supported by a lot of very smart people that work for him. Yes, they organize his company. They are the ones that come up with the innovation. They are the ones that actually have the brain power. They're the ones that are the true engineers. And I feel as if Elon is just a great conductor. He's a great conductor. That's what I think he is. But he's turning America into a third world country. Our funding in some of our very vital programs, especially our farmers, are just being done away with. Our farmers are able to help feed America. Now we know by the support of the USAID. That was the first thing he went after. He went after America's breadbasket. Isn't that something? What is one of the first ways to turn a country into a third world country? Famine. Famine. And I believe there's going to be a lot of hunger issues right here in America, because if our farmers that are in like Nebraska, they're in like Georgia, Alabama, California, they depended on a lot of those. And let's also remember that not all of those farmers were white. You do have a small percentage of black farmers that were also dependent upon that U.S. aid. And if they can't help to keep things afloat with the U.S. aid funding, then if farmers here in America can't keep things afloat with funding like grants and particular loans until Americans help to flip their investment when they market out their goods. These U.S. aid programs help to keep these farms afloat. That's a lot of farms now is they're in a crucial spot. You're gonna have a lot of farms. They're just gonna have to declare a complete closeout. A complete closeout, because there's not going to be any way that they're going to be able to stay operational with the high rising cost of now fertilizer because of the tariffs. Now we got to put that into the factor, and also keeping up with regulations, regulatory requirements. Those things cost money. A lot of people have to make sure that their farms are also in compliance with EPA. That's another thing, making sure that water is not being contaminated. Some people do just grains and fruits and vegetables, but you have a lot of farms that also deal with cattle and chicken and turkey and other foods that we eat that are in pigs. And a lot of that has to do with making sure that you are staying within EPA regulations, because if bad water gets contaminated from a runoff from animals, all types of diseases can infect that area, even just a small amount getting into the water supply. And it's very expensive to keep these things up. But I feel like Elon Musk is turning our nation into a third world nation. Can you believe that? The MAGA got into the White House based off of eliminating bureaucracy. And then when they get in there, they have a king, and then they have a prince of bureaucracy. And then they give him, not President Trump, they give the anointing to Musk to do as you will, sir. Cut as you will, sir. And we're suffering now. Of course, many of us didn't vote for this administration to come into the White House. I voted for Vice President Kamala Harris because I felt like she was overqualified for the position. And I knew that with her being in the White House, it was going to help extend at least 4 more years of us being able to experience a climb in this economy that we were enjoying. I don't understand how people were complaining that I'm so broke, I can't this, I can't that. We never even the economy was able to shift itself back up because of smart decisions that were made by President Biden. And because of his relationships with our global community and his working knowledge of the law. He understood that there's a fragile relationship between all of that. And we benefited from that. Holiday season of 2024, I have not seen so many smiling faces, so much traffic during the holiday season since December 2019, when President Obama was last in office. Because the economy just, oh my gosh, when the COVID hit, even though they were giving money out, you really couldn't do anything. You couldn't go anywhere. You were sick, or you were experiencing people dying around you. Unfortunately, you may have had close loved ones have passed. It was a world of catastrophe. And in our country. And then we had all of these social upheavals on top of that, with racism and all of this injustice. And now you get to compare, these past 4 years with President Biden in office, it wasn't that bad. At least, I'll say this, President Biden, he's done this for so long, I feel like he was not the best communicator. President Biden was he's very smart. He's a very intelligent man. He's very cool, because those two were the cool cats when Joe Biden and Barack Obama were in office. Those are the cool cats. So they're very cool. They're very confident. They know the law like the back of their hand. They know it. So President Biden, he just wasn't a good communicator. I was not going to vote for President Biden not because of his age. I was not going to vote for President Biden because I don't like the direction of where the Democratic Party is going to. I feel like they need to get away from sexuality and get back to just policy, and policy for every American, no matter whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, male, female. It should just be that. And that's that. If you want your own party based off of gender and sexuality and all of that, you need to branch off on your own party. That's what I believe, because it really did us an injustice with with those who were depending on those that are in the LGBTQ community, and they were depending on them being contributors to voting for Kamala Harris, because what other party is openly supportive of the LGBT plus Q community but the Democratic Party? And when we found out that many of them went and voted for President Trump, and not only that, but there were already people out there that are gender fluid, or they are living in different lifestyles. Say, for instance, Bruce Jenner. We all knew he was a Republican. We all knew he was going to the polls in heels to go vote for Trump. We knew that. Why are we shocked? So that's why I think the LGBTQ plus community needs to leave the Democratic Party, and they need to start their own branch. They need to start their own political party. Now, I'm not even just going to put them under the bus. I will even put the NAACP under the bus. For so many years, the NAACP could have had a party of its own. Why has no one organized that? We have enough political power within the African American community and people of color that consider themselves within that group. We have enough power. We definitely have enough financial power. But getting back to Elon Musk, there is
Julius Malema, who's now being considered their new version of the late President Mandela.
He is over the Red Beret Party. Now, I'm not going to show any videos because I do not condone violence or even violent chants or anything like that, even if it's not meant to be that way. I don't know, but I'm not going to share that video. You can always look on your own for the Red Beret Party in South Africa. But they are a party that wants to make it clear that they are not going back to a separate, an unequal, segregated, apartheid South Africa. Now, that part, I don't blame them. They want to let people know. So they chant this thing. It's called, "We're going to kill the farmer." Now, subconsciously, that means that we're going to kill the, people. Now, I don't believe in violence, and I don't think that violence is going to get you anywhere. And like I said, I don't want to misquote anyone because that's not my party. I really don't have a working knowledge of any more than what I have read about. But many people in South Africa, they don't want Elon Musk there. You have people here in America that's asking, why is he here and why is he not over in his own country? Now, South Africa is a very modern country. In many places of South Africa, it is really growing. Yes, it has its issues, and so does America. Yes, South Africa has some safety issues, so does America. Yes, South Africa may have still some poverty issues, so does America. I think this is the time where America needs to start looking at its own self and stop thinking that they're this big, great white hope, because they're not anymore. We have so many problems. We have people that are living in their cars as if they're regular residential houses. We got people that are just really surviving, living off of the grid, and they have college education. That is ridiculous. And only 1% are holding pretty much all of the wealth that could cover our whole entire United States, our whole entire country. There's only a few people, 1%. So we have our own problems here, just like Senator Bernie Sanders is always trying to drive home the oligarchy. There's a complete economic imbalance, and Elon Musk is one of them, and he's driving our country right into a third world hole. Trump said, he teased a few years ago when he was in office, he called all of these third world countries S-hole countries. Well, guess what, President Trump? You're now running one. And your little buddy, he's making sure he's nailing the coffin in for America for it to become a third world country. You watch. Continue to stay hopeful, stay educated, stay resilient, and please do subscribe, please do follow. I have just a little small following, but I sure would love and appreciate if I can just get a little bit of a subscriber here or there. That would be great. We want to push to 100,000, because I feel like when somebody subscribes to me, I subscribe to them. I just go around subscribing, especially to our 92%. Oh my gosh, this is our moment, because we are resting, we are supporting each other, we are listening, we are staying inside. I don't care what they do out there, we are staying inside and we are staying away. Okay, that is our assignment, to be inside. Stay blessed, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.